Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would have a little sit down coffee chat with you. Literally have my coffee here, still caffeinating this morning. I wanted to have a chat with you about some resources that I found helpful while I was pregnant and postpartum. My idea for this video was to give you sort of a one-stop shop for resources if you struggle with anxiety and are pregnant or are already a parent. I've struggled with anxiety for a long time, so I'm pretty in the habit of seeking out resources for different situations in my life to help me through it. So when I became pregnant, I thought, right, we need to armor up and figure out how we're gonna get through this, because it was just something new to navigate. As excited as I was also scared and had a lot of worries, naturally. So first off, disclaimer, I am not a medical professional. I am not qualified to give you advice on your mental or physical health. If you feel that you are experiencing symptoms of anxiety or depression, please talk with a medical doctor about it. Definitely get professional help. I'm not qualified. These are simply things that I found helped me out alongside the advice and guidance of my doctors. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do is give you some ideas about which books to read before you have the baby. Now, my first piece of advice, if you don't watch the rest of this video, my first piece of advice is don't read all the books. Don't read all of them. You might try to, especially if you have anxiety and you think you need to equip yourself with all this information, but don't do it. Don't read all the books. Pick a few per trimester that you feel are in line with your parenting goals, read them, and stop there. There is so much information out there, and it's not all bad, it's not all good. There is more than one way to be a good parent. And if you read all the books, they're just gonna conflict and compete with each other. Pick a methodology and stick to it, or don't. You might be a parent who doesn't really follow a methodology. I followed a very specific plan, which I'll talk more about later. Figure out what's right for you and stick with that. If you seek out too much information, it's literally just that. It's too much information. Your head will get too full of all these different ideas and methods, and it will make the anxiety worse. Trust me on this, I've been there. So I'm gonna go through the top 3 books that helped me out, and then I'm gonna give you a bonus recommendation just for fun. So the first book or series of books I would recommend are the Moms on Call books. They have a website. They have a series of different books ranging in age from 0 months up to 4 years old that can kind of help guide you along the way as your baby develops. They have online courses, which I have not ever taken any of the online courses, but I'm sure they're great. I just read the books and I follow that. I followed their schedules. I followed their practices for helping my baby sleep through the night. Everything. It's a great all over baby guide. It has stuff for bathing, introducing solid foods, schedules, when to transition from a baby bed to a toddler bed, breastfeeding. It has just about everything, and if you need more information, you can kind of refer to their website or opt in for some of their online courses. It's kind of my Bible now in terms of childcare. I don't have physical copies of the books. I have them on my phone. I think I have one on the Kindle app and one on iBooks, and that way when we're kind of dealing with a new situation, I can just pull it up really quickly on my phone, go back to the chapter I know I read it in, and reference it there. So that's my first suggestion. certainly, I'm sure with any scheduling, baby scheduling type thing, there's controversy surrounding it. Do your research and see if it's in line with your heart in terms of how you plan to parent, and then go from there. The second book I want to recommend is The Happiest Baby on the Block by Dr. Harvey Karp. This book was recommended to me by my old boss. So we were coworkers. She had 3 kids, and I was taking all of her recommendations in because I knew she had experience. I do have an actual copy of Happiest Baby on the Block, and you can see I've tabbed it out, and it's stuff that I shared with my husband before the baby came. He's known for the 5 S's, which is kind of a method to calm your baby down, especially in that 4th trimester, which is the first 3 months outside of the womb. It just has so much good information about how they are waking up to the world around them. It makes total sense, and it helps you sort of learn how to mimic the womb in terms of how to calm them down and make them feel comfortable and get them through that kind of rough transition period. So highly recommend that. They also have a Happiest Baby Guide to Sleep. I didn't necessarily find that there was more information in here than in the original book, but I was glad to have it, and you can see I tabbed a few extra resources for us in terms of sleep. They also have Happiest Toddler on the Block, which I have not read yet. This was handed down to me by my old boss, and I guess I should start thumbing through it now. My kid's almost 11 months old, so we're getting to the point where I need to start looking in here, which I can't believe we're already there. But yeah, so they kind of have, like Moms on Call, different levels of assistance for you, and I think they're just really great resources. The third book I want to recommend is Expecting Better by Emily Oster. I don't have a hard copy of this book. I checked it out from the library. I think it was an ebook, and she is an economics professor, and she's very data driven. So I found that as someone who struggles with anxiety, it helped me kind of distill down all of these myths and rumors I'd heard about being a parent and how to be pregnant. It gives you hard data and doesn't try to sway you one way or the other. It just gives you all of the information and empowers you to make the best decision that's right for you. And it really helped with my anxiety in terms of, what if I, stay on my antidepressants? What's gonna happen? What if I, have a sip of alcohol? What would happen? All of that kind of stuff. And it gives you just really solid information. And she has compiled it all in one book, and it's amazing. She also has a second book out called Crib Sheets. I actually have it back here on my bookshelf. I haven't dove into that one much either, but it does the same thing for when you're actually parenting. Expecting Better's more for when you're still pregnant. Crib Sheets is more for after the fact, and I can't wait to dive in deeper. I think it's going to really help me out. I should probably reference it even more than I do now. My bonus suggestion for a book is nothing that you probably can't live without, but I just found it to be a really enjoyable read. It's Bringing Up BB by Pamela Druckerman. And this book's been out for quite a while, but I just felt like I needed to see what it was all about. And I would say it's about 50% advice and resource and 50% just pure enjoyment. And it really calmed me down and helped with my anxiety because it helped me look forward to the fun that was to come in parenting. I'm reading all of these like hard-hitting, hard fact books, and I'm like, right, we've got a schedule, we've got strategies for helping him calm down, we know what to do if he has colic. But this book really helped me envision becoming a mother, and I don't know, it made me get really excited about it. So bonus suggestion, if you have time or need kind of a lighter read, but still want to be on track with your mom research, definitely check it out. The next thing I want to recommend for you today are 3 Instagram accounts that I think you should follow. There are hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, but these are the 3 that I keep in my feed all the time and am consistently engaging with this account. So the first one is Anxious Moms. I find that it does a lot to normalize anxiety and depression in moms and kind of puts things in words that you may not want to admit to yourself in your head. or things that you think you're experiencing all on your own, but you're not alone. And I think it's really helped me to remember that while anxiety feels very personal and is very personal, there is guaranteed someone else who's feeling the same way I am or who has felt the same way I am. So it helps me just feel not so weird for having anxiety and for constantly feeling like I'm in a battle with it. But it's a really beautiful account and I encourage you to check it out. The next Instagram account I'm going to recommend is Working Mom Kind. It's a good resource for working moms, which is why I initially started following it, but I don't feel like it excludes stay-at-home moms or work-from-home moms either, so I think it's an account for anyone who is a parent. It provides support and inspiration for working moms in general, and I found it very helpful when I had to go back to work after maternity leave and struggled with a lot of guilt and anxiety about that guilt, and just wondering, how is my kid gonna turn out since I sent him to daycare? It really helped a lot. Just check it out. The proof is in the pudding. The third Instagram account I'd like for you to check out is Goldfish and Chicken Nuggets. I'm there purely for the memes. It's hilarious. It keeps me laughing. It also kind of helps you connect with others because you're like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels this way. And it's really good, I think, for toddlers, and we are quickly approaching the toddler stage, and they just become more and more relevant every day. Definitely check it out. The last thing I want to do for you in this video is offer 3 product recommendations for helping with your anxiety. These are not absolutely necessary, but they are probably the top 3 things that helped me the most while I was pregnant and on a day-to-day basis now. The first thing is the Owlet monitor. It is a small monitor that comes with a sock that you put on one of your baby's feet while he or she is sleeping. It has given me and my husband so much peace of mind. We wish we had actually brought it to the hospital with us. I mentioned to him, I said, do you think we should pack the Owlet in our hospital bag? And he said, nah, I don't think so. Like, we're gonna be in a hospital setting. The baby's gonna be safe. We're gonna be safe. And I totally agreed with him. But that first night, I think I opened my eyes every 5 minutes to look over at him in his little bassinet and was like, oh, I wish I'd brought the Owlet, because he was sleeping very soundly. He'd just been bored. He was exhausted. And I think I would have gotten a little bit more sleep even in the hospital had we brought the Owlet. And it's continued to be a big comfort. We can even pull up the app and check in on him if we're out on a date night. We can pull it up and go, oh, he's in deep sleep. He's doing great. He's breathing. He's fine. I do think that you have to kind of put a cap on how many times you check the app, though. That could make your anxiety worse, just word to the wise. But I find a lot of comfort in knowing that it's just there, always on in the background, and will alert us if there's any aberrations in his breathing or his oxygen levels. The second thing I want to recommend to you is something just for you. It's actually behind me on this chair. It is what's the brand? I wrote it down. Fabulous Furs blanket. It was gifted to me by my mom for Christmas this year, and it is so cozy and soft, and I think it's just I guess it's kind of like an adult blankie. It's something that at the end of the day I love curling up in. It would also be great to curl up with your newborn baby in. I didn't have it when he was a newborn, but it's just kind of a comfort object for me to kind of bring me back to the present and go, you know what, everything's okay. I got my blanket, I got my coffee, everything's gonna be all right. It is a pricier item. I'm gonna link it in the description box. I don't think you have to have this exact type of blanket, but it's just a reminder to have something that's just for you. Everyone in our family knows that this blanket is my blanket. The dogs still try and get on it, but they know better. They know it's my blanket. Even my husband knows it's my blanket. Say blanket again, blanket. The third thing I want to recommend to you in terms of products is a fully stocked diaper bag. It can be whatever diaper bag you want, but it's got to be fully stocked. I think this has been invaluable in terms of helping me with my anxiety because I've packed it with a lot of things that I know I might need. So it makes it really easy for me to grab the bag, grab the baby, and get out the door. And I think that's an important part, is being able to know that you can still be mobile and on the go even though you now have a baby. I will link my video about what's in my diaper bag in the description box. Please check it out and give it a thumbs up if you like it, because it's one of my favorite videos that I've ever filmed, and it's something that I'm kind of always changing and adding to and taking things out of as he goes to different stages in his development. But that is probably the top thing that has helped me, just because I know I can still get out and be a member of larger society and still have everything we're gonna need for the baby. So those are all my recommendations for you today. Again, I'm not a medical doctor, can't give you any medical advice, but if you struggle with anxiety, are pregnant, or are already a parent, and you're feeling overwhelmed at just all of the options you have in terms of books, social media accounts, products, this I think will help you find a good starting point for you. And as always, I just want to encourage you to seek out resources that are in line with how you want to parent. Again, Moms on Call may not be the right answer for you, but it's something that resonated very strongly with my personality type. But just find the series or book that works for you and use that as your jumping off point going forward. Try not to go off in too many different directions. That'll just make your anxiety worse. Pick a methodology and stick with it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you have any questions or comments, comment below. I would love for this to be an ongoing dialogue on this channel. I think it's so important when you struggle with anxiety to keep talking about it so that you don't feel alone. You are not alone. I am here working with it every day, and fortunately, I'm in a good place right now, but it doesn't mean that I'm not constantly trying to keep it up as a dialogue in my life, just so I can try and stay on top of things. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and just subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.